everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be covering getting through the rough stages of our build. So that begins with the frame. A few things that are really important about the frame in a basement, especially here in the state of Colorado, is that we have expansive soils. When you have expansive soils, you have to plan for that structurally when you're building your walls. So as you walk through our basement, you'll see that each wall is framed floating. And the reason being is with the expansive soils, when they push on the concrete, if that does occur, you have room for play there. So it's not shifting the whole wall up, it's moving that bottom portion of the float up. Another really important part of the frame of a basement is the ceiling drops and the soffits. So when you have HVAC ductwork or you have structural beams running across, we have to drop the ceiling around those portions of the basement so that everything flows. You want to maintain uniformity, you want to maintain spacing so that the lines look intentional. You don't want a ceiling that's broken up. So a good example of that would be this drop right here. So we do have a structural beam that's running from side to side of the basement. We have the two posts here that we framed a 12 by 12 box around. That way we could fit in sconce lights. But as you can see, we made this box uniform to encompass the HVAC as well as the roll blocks that protect the beams from shifting. Again, maintaining uniformity, maintaining symmetry, really important. Another really cool thing that we like to do in basements in the rough frame, if a homeowner really likes the open floor plan, we can always delete the basement stairwell. So what we're able to do is demo out these walls and provide an open staircase so that when you come down, the view is broad and really open. It's a great thing to increase space, openness, and just really create a cool vibe in the basement. People love it. All right, so the next step is the rough plumbing. A lot of people think plumbing's a dirty job. I think it's beautiful. Here in this basement, we have 3 different locations that we've run rough plumbing to. The first one we're going to talk about is here at the kitchen. This basement is really neat. It has a full kitchen. In this half wall here, where will be a kitchen island, you'll see that we actually ran water lines down this wall. We trenched out the concrete, ran the water lines in a conduit underneath the concrete and up into our half wall here, which cabinets will go against, and then a countertop will go over. And as we pop up out of the ground, we go through the framing to our future sink and dishwasher location. One of the building practices that we were coached on when we came up in the industry was to never run water lines in an exterior wall. Now, some people may say, hey, if it's a 2x6 wall, you're okay. I tend to err on the side of caution. We want to eliminate the potential for issues down the road. We also want to eliminate the potential for warranty for our business. That's a cost, right? You want to avoid that. So what we did is we actually furred this wall out a 2x4 so that now we have a 2x6 on the exterior wall and then a 2x4 wall in front of that we have our water lines running within. Again, just being safe, being cautious, and really putting the thought into the finished product for a long-term success. So you'll also see, oftentimes the plumbing is not exactly where you want it to be. To get the drain to our kitchen island, we actually trenched all the way into the theater room where we tied into the underground plumbing. My concrete contractor did a phenomenal job. We bedded it with road base and then skim coated the top after we poured the concrete so it looks very flush to the existing concrete. It's gonna make it a great application when we go to level and floor. The next location that we have underground plumbing in is our ensuite bath. So this is really neat. The homeowner wanted to provide their guests with a private stay experience. We have another bath that we'll talk about in a second, but this one is your private bath if you're a guest in this home. Simple bath, but we already had underground in this area, so we actually were able to tie into that here without taking up too much concrete. One of the things that we do prior to beginning the rough plumbing, our plumber will do an underground scope to make sure they A, know where everything is, and B, also make sure that the underground drain is in good condition. If we're tying into it, we don't want to be tying into a problem. Interestingly enough, after the scope in this basement, we actually did discover a problem in the builder's underground drain. It was right here. You can see this newly sectioned piece of concrete that was removed was actually a belly in the underground drain. The homeowner was very grateful that we ran a scope before we finished the basement. We were able to identify this problem and get it resolved before we floored it and went into the rest of the finished work. Now, let's go talk about the coolest part of this basement. All right, so here, this is the future master bath, if you will, the main bath of this basement. It's got all kinds of really neat features. I'm so excited for you guys to see it. And this is the third and final location of the underground plumbing in this basement. These doors will swing in like so, and I'll walk in. We have a 48-inch vanity single sink here. It'll actually L around this corner. This will be like a makeup counter for the homeowner or guest to sit at and enjoy and prepare before a night out or a family event of some kind. As we come into the bathroom, we also created a private, what we call a water closet. This is a private toilet room, so if your guests are in here, there is privacy to use the bathroom. And now, the coolest feature of this basement is the future steam shower. As you can see here, we put in our underground drain in the location that works with this shower width. We also sloped the ceiling to eliminate water buildup on the ceiling and dripping on the people using the space. This is a really, really cool feature. In the shower, after I finish my steam, I go over, I turn on the shower, and the rain shower head from above rinses me off before I leave the steam shower and head to a future resting area where I can sit on a couch, sit on a bench here, and just relax and enjoy the peaceful music of the speaker system that's been installed in the bathroom as well. All right, so the next aspect of the rough stage that we want to talk about is the HVAC. I love it mainly because it's a one-day install. The guys are in and out. It's a very, very efficient process. So in the basement, obviously we need to provide heating throughout the basement. We also provide a return air so that we can get fresh air into the basement. The other two things that we add are bath vents. So in our master bath here, we actually did two. So we wanted to provide something else to kind of clear out that humidity in the room if we need to. So we did install a bath fan in here. And then we also installed one in the private water closet. There's another one inside the guest ensuite bath as well. We put heat returns throughout the basement where necessary, such as in the bedroom, gym, theater, to make sure those rooms are climate controlled and heated to a comfortable temperature. So the next aspect, probably the most crucial aspect of the basement next to the framing, is going to be the electrical, the rough electric, to make sure that we ensure client satisfaction and also avoid headaches or any types of errors later down the road that we need to deal with. We always do a homeowner walkthrough with the client prior to finishing up. We will install the boxes throughout, bring the client in, walk with the electrician before any of the wire has been pulled so that it's easily changed or adjusted if necessary. After we've walked it with the client and they've made their adjustments if they wanted any, we proceed to pull all of our wires through to those locations. Before my electrician comes in, he's provided with an electrical floor plan so that he knows exactly where he's putting lights, where he's putting outlets, so that the electrician can get in here efficiently and jump right into his work. Another really neat feature in basements is the low voltage. A lot of people really like speakers throughout. They can provide ambiance, they can provide a vibe for their guests when they're enjoying the space. Again, I like to utilize the same situation as we do with the electrical walk. We bring the client in, and any adjustments or additions that they'd like to make, they can do at that time. So a big area of the low voltage in this basement is gonna be the home theater. Here in the home theater, we'll have an entertainment center on this wall right here. And in the ceiling, we'll have what is called a 5-in-1 speaker system. So we have these 3 speakers that are going to be inside the entertainment center with 2 additional speakers in the rear behind the couch so that you get all that sound coming at you. We'll also have a subwoofer in here to provide that other level of experience for the guests when they're enjoying this space. The subwoofer will be placed in the back here. We also have speakers in the master bath. We have speakers in the gym, and we have speakers in the open space and kitchen. There were also speakers added on the exterior patio for when they're using that space in good weather. It's actually pretty chilly here in Colorado today. My watch said -6 when I got up this morning. All right, so now that we've gotten through all of our rough mechanicals and our framing, we're ready to move into the rough inspection phase. This is a crucial part of any build. Essentially, you get the okay from the municipality in which you're building in to proceed to the finish phases of the basement finish. Those inspections consist of rough framing. Again, they're coming through, they're making sure that A, your walls were floated in the basement. They're making sure that you have fire blocking where necessary. Then there's also an underground plumbing inspection. The inspectors want to check everything that we've done before we cover it with concrete again. That's typically the first inspection we go through. Then we also have a rough electric and a rough mechanical inspection. The rough mechanical, again, they're going to check they're checking the HVAC, making sure that we have heat supplies, the return air, the bath fans, etc. And then we also have our electrical inspection. The electrical inspection is typically the most in-depth and it's the most extensive. As you pan through the basement, you can see that there is quite a bit of electrical throughout. Cans in the ceilings, outlets, smoke detectors, CO2 detectors. Before we can call those inspections, we have to do our foam and draft stop. The foam and draft stop is essentially what it is fire suppression, reducing or eliminating the potential for fire to spread throughout. So you'll see draft stop as insulation. An example would be right here, essentially breaking. This batt insulation is used as a draft stop. And then we also have all of our penetrations where necessary, fire foamed. As you pan throughout the basement, you'll see those foamed areas throughout, anywhere vertical and then obviously at the boxes. Now that we've passed all of our rough inspections, the next feature that we implement in the majority of our basements is sound deadening insulation. So when your guests are upstairs or when you're downstairs and you have people upstairs, the goal is to really muffle that noise. We don't completely eliminate it, but we do reduce it substantially so that the space really feels isolated and private as opposed to hearing a conversation going on upstairs. All right, now that we're finished with the rough inspections, the next stage is drywall. Stick with us, we'll see you next time.